Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Seaman, and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be in the same format as my last one, kind of just like podcast style, I guess, basically just yapping. I wanted to respond to a few of the comments, which, first of all, I had no expectation that there would be any views, let alone comments, so that was a nice surprise. I wanted to respond to a few of them. Most of them were from the same person. ZIZAX hello hi. You might be a bot, but I'll go ahead and respond to them because it'll be content anyway. First thing that they said is nice mustache. Thank you. I appreciate that. Then they asked what my screen time is as a coder. I could probably look at it, but I'm scared to. It's probably ridiculous. I'm always on a screen, and most of my hobbies are on a screen anyway, so it's like whether I'm working or having fun, I'm on a screen. We live in a society, but anyway. Then they ask, have I made any app or website? I'll link my GitHub, which should have my most recent one. I built like a message board with the Odin project, but that was for class. Most of my work is kind of like, I don't really have that many projects. Most of my work is done at my job. Then the most interesting comment that they made was they just linked a time in the video, 4 minutes and 8 seconds, and that's where I was talking about Rust and how it combines low-level programming with object-oriented programming, and like that it made it really complicated, which is an oversimplification of an oversimplification, so you guys will just have to trust me. But they just linked that part of the video and said C++, which I've never written anything in C++. I've written a little bit of C code, but nothing in C++. So I guess my question is like, is C++ really that similar to Rust? I know people have compared them a lot before, but I don't know. Maybe is the only difference the fact that Rust is memory safe? I don't know. I haven't done much more work in Rust since that video because I just haven't had time, man. There's so much stuff I do for school and for work. Like, well, work less. At work, I kind of just go to work, do the work, come home, and I'm done. But with school, I have homework, I have exams to study for. I am ready to graduate. I'm thinking about graduating early, but I don't know. I'll have to pass the CLEP Spanish test, and that's gonna be, I don't know. It's not gonna be easy, but I think I could do it. Man, I'm taking this honors class. It's my junior senior seminar, and what's going on here? Anyway, it's junior senior seminar, law and literature. It's interesting. We're talking a lot about justice and like what justice means, how it's served, how it fit, like its place in society, its origin, etc. And that stuff is very interesting, but it's like there's a tinge, there's like an asterisk on the course as a whole, because like to me, like I said, we live in a society, and in order to bring value to the world, you have to be employable. And the unfortunate fact is literature and most art in general is just not employable unless you're talented. And I'm not talented. I'm good at what I do programming wise, but that's not because of talent. That's just because I have no life. So I don't know. I really do enjoy the class, but one, it doesn't directly contribute to my undergraduate process or progress. So it's like I'm not actually getting anything done by taking it. And if I'm going to graduate early, I'm not going to graduate with honors. So there's really no point in taking the class. I don't know. It's a lot to consider. I like the class. I love the professor, but I don't know. I just can't fully commit myself to it, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, I forgot. There was another comment on the video, maybe another bot, but, and I can't even say that. Shuru Q Saif 9419. I'm seeing this, probably in response to me saying, I don't think anybody's going to see this. Algorithm is doing you good, bro. My major is math, but I will subscribe anyway. I would be a double major in computer science and math, but we don't have a math department at my school. I mean, like we do on paper, but in reality now, the highest level math class that you can take in, depending on how you look at it, is either linear algebra or Calc 3. Excuse me. And like linear algebra isn't even taught by a real math professor anymore. So back when I took it, somebody with a PhD in math education was teaching it, and I learned a lot in that class. It was incredibly difficult. She did not pull punches. Oh my God. But on the topic of that professor, though, Dr. Berger, I will never forgive you for what you did. You convinced me to fully resolve to double majoring in math, and then you left. You left our school. You went ridiculous. And everyone was expecting it because she was having her second kid. So it's like you can't really blame her. But she said she was going to be a stay-at-home mom or whatever. She told the department head that that's what she was doing. And then she went and taught in another university like 2 weeks before the semester started. I don't know. Kind of ridiculous, but I would have actually had a half decent math education had it not been for her leaving. And I know that's not her fault. That's definitely the school that I go to's fault. I don't think they treat professors very well. I think it's much more like, I think the priority is much more on the students than it is the professors, which is good for me. I'm a student, but not good for me because professors don't want to work here. So it's a bit of a debacle. Yeah. So I would be studying math, at least in a way. I still am in a way, but not in the way that I want to. I would. I was so excited to take topology. Oh my gosh. And I know I could teach it myself, but like I don't have the time for that. The only reason I would be able to learn it is if I had to learn it, if I had to do the class, like do the homework and study for the exams. So on my own, I'm going to have to wait until I graduate and have the time to do it, which will be not too long from now. Oh man, I am so excited to graduate. And I know I do like school. I like the social aspect. I've got a lot of friends here. I like going to class with the people that I like, but at the same time, I'm just ready to be able to go to work, come home, and then be done. And not have to worry about homework, exams, or any other bullcrap. I'm very ready for it. And hey, if I really hate it, I could go back to school and get my PhD if I really want to. But yeah. We're reading Shakespeare in my honors class. We're reading The Merchant of Venice, which I was not a fan of Shakespeare before. The only Shakespeare I had been exposed to really was Romeo and Juliet, was what we read in high school, what everybody read in high school. And it was pretty good. But I mean, I was a high schooler, so I didn't care. I didn't lend myself to the text, if you will. And so I didn't really appreciate Shakespeare for what it was. But now I'm old enough and disciplined enough to actually read the text and understand it. Nobody's holding my hand through it, so I have to. And I am really starting to understand why, or maybe not understand why, but I could see why people say that Shakespeare is the epitome of storytelling. I mean, oh my gosh. At first, like reading the first act was like, I mean, typical Shakespeare. I can't really understand anything. But the second act, I think I've gotten used to it, and oh my gosh, it's just so like, it's like butter once you get it. Like it's so smooth, and he has a way with words. I mean, what can I say? I've only finished Act 2. I'm gonna be reading I'm actually gonna be reading the rest of the book tomorrow because we're supposed to have it read by Tuesday. And today's Thursday, so I need to have it read. But so far, like we keep talking about in class because it's a seminar class. I mean, it means like a lot of discussion. There's going to be a trial, and apparently it's one of the most like famous trials in all of, I don't know, like I can't remember the way that she put it, but our professor said that it was like very famous. And so we're setting up that conflict right now, or it's at the point of setting up that conflict, but we really haven't gotten into any like huge ethical quandaries, I guess. It's horribly anti-Semitic, though. Oh my God. And she said it was going to be anti-Semitic because Europeans were just anti-Semitic, but I, the capacity for human hatred of other groups of people never ceases to amaze me. So, yeah. Wow, I've yapped for about 10 minutes, so man, there's a lot more I could say. I just don't. I'll keep it for now. Oh yeah, the last thing I'll say is I'm gonna start a series on this channel, and it'll actually be like produced. It'll be edited, and it'll take a while for me to actually get the first one out. But it's gonna be called "Doing the Most," and the idea behind it is the way that I learn is by really diving into something, like doing the most that I possibly can, like for basically no reason other than to learn. And so what I want to do is I want to learn how to use a digital audio workstation. And so I could just download Ableton, or I could buy Logic. Well, I could buy Logic Pro, but no, I'm not doing that. It's like $300. And then there's also, I mean, I could just use GarageBand. Like I could do stuff like that just to learn the basics. But no, I want to do the most. So I'm going to learn on LMMS, which I think stands for Linux Multimedia Sound. If Google would load, I could tell you. Oh, tell me, what does it stand for? No, this is so awkward. What does LMMS stand for? Linux Multimedia Studio. So I was close. But I want to learn on that. And, you know, I said Linux. So, of course, I need Linux. Well, I don't need Linux, but, you know, I'm going to download Linux. And what better way to learn how to download and use Linux, than to download Arch? So I'm going to download Arch onto my Windows. I'm going to dual boot, and I'm going to download LMMS and learn how to use a digital audio workstation by doing the most. And the overarching goal is I want to contribute to open source. And LMMS is an open source digital audio workstation. So if I learn how to use the digital audio workstation, I'll actually know what problems that it has, and so I'll have a better insight into what features that I could implement. And because I don't know, I mean, I could just look at there might be issues open that I could try and work on, but like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know, that doesn't feel as strong to me. So I'm going to learn it. I'm going to get comfortable with it enough to know what it needs, and then I'm going to see if I can actually make a difference there. But yeah, I'm going to start that series, and that'll be up. I think my goal for that video I want it to be uploaded by the end of the year. I'll set a realistic goal, because I think my last video was over a month ago. So these videos are literally, I pull up my laptop and I record it. So something like that is going to be much more intense. But yeah, I've yapped for almost 15 minutes now. So we'll call it there. Thanks for watching, guys. If anybody got to this point, you're crazy. But thanks for sticking with me. I think a few more of these will come out sometime soon. But yeah, have a good one, y'all.